Alright, I am going to go over a small yet helpful general boss in spreadsheet I made. This will be in the description. I'm going to go over the general information and not the specifics of what bosses need or what things to look out for, etc., etc. So let's go straight into it. Alright, I've seen a lot of guides have all this information spread out individually. I really dislike that. I don't know why it just can't be all unified into one guide, so I don't have to keep, or any player has to keep clicking around and going to the Maple Wiki and then having to do all the research on their own, which I do recommend in some cases, especially when it comes to not concise information and not black and white answers, yes and no's, when it comes to like boss, or not boss, item progression. That's why I like to give recommendations in the last like guide I wrote out for gear progression, and I make sure it's clear that this isn't the end all be all. This is just my personal preference of progression and the best way to min max and make the most out of your mess up. Anyway, here I have all the information that I think you need, and of course, if I find more information that I can add or anything helpful, I'll do that in real time as it comes. So here we have the names of the boss, of course. Oh, oops, the level of the boss here. We have the blue dot requirement of damage, which I'll go over that in a second. The green dot requirement, the total HP, the arcane symbol, and the sacred force, PDR, Mesa requirements, or Mesa reward guides, and then notes about the guides or the information provided or the boss, whatever. So, the blue dot means you dealt 5% damage of this boss's total health. So if a boss has 100 damage, you had to deal 5 damage to get this blue dot. Now, what is a blue dot? What is a green dot? So if we go over here, you will see this. That's kind of hard to see. Okay, this little star, my name, my HP bar, right? To the right of this HP bar, when you're in a boss fight, you'll see a dot. Now, that dot will be blue, orange, or green. Orange means you have not done 5% of the damage done so far. Keep that in mind. Blue dot means you've done 5% of the damage so far. Green dot is 10% or more. Now this is important because you need to really have a blue dot at the end of the fight to get rewards. So right when that boss dies, you need to have a blue dot next to your name. Because if you don't, you get no rewards at all. You get no mesos, no boss crystal, no spell traces, nothing. However, it does count towards your artifact EXP. I believe it counts for your special missions and the boss tab for your week. I'm not exactly sure about the special missions, but I'm pretty sure for the boss one it does work. But okay, so the difference between blue dot and green dot, well, green dot, of course, means you've done more than 10% or 10% or more of the total damage that's required to kill that boss, which does also include their HP healing. So if a boss heals for, I don't know, let's just say for hypothetical reasons, if it healed for the exact HP it had, so if it went from 100 HP to 200 HP because it healed, you have to now deal double the damage that you initially needed. I've seen a lot of people go through carries, have their battle analysis open, check their damage, and then stop at the required amount, which is another recommendation I have, by the way. Open up your battle analysis, and then keep track of total damage here, which will also be the second number here under battle duration, right there. They'll get that damage up to whatever's needed to blue dot, and then stop attacking, which is ridiculous. Just go a little bit above. Some bosses heal in ways that you wouldn't even imagine, but it happens. For those that don't know where to get your BA, your battle analysis, you can press escape, right arrow key, and it's right there, or you just click the menu button right there. And also alternatively, it is a yellow key called battle analysis. It'll be right here. Right there. Okay. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're fighting bosses. If you can hit green, just hit green, why not? It's safe. Or just go a decent amount over the blue dot requirement. All this damage is in billions, so keep that in mind. This is the total HP. It's good to know if once you start trying to look into solo bossing, like doing normal lucid. Although if you can normal lucid, you should probably just be doing hard lucid parties, to be honest with you. But once you start soloing hard lucid, you're gonna want to know the total HP, and especially for Lotus and Damus, you can work on your pitch boss items. Okay, so that's what that means. Arcane symbol, or AS, or Sacred Force. That is this over here. When you open up your equips, your Sacred Force is going to be your sack. That's going to be right here, Grandis, or rather Cernium and higher. And then your Sacred Arcane, I'm losing it over here. Your Arcane symbols are of course going to be your Arcane River. That is what these stand for. If it's blue, that's Arcane symbols. Then Sacred Force, of course, is going to be the orange text. If you reach 1.5 times the required either one of these, you start doing a lot more damage. I believe it's 50% more damage, but it's really helpful when you start looking to blue dot and get carried on certain bosses, and then even contribute, like struggle parties and things like that. PDR. So to not make this a 20-minute guide, long like TLDR of what PDR is, it's just basically like a defense percentage that the boss has. The higher the percentage this PDR is, the higher ignore enemy defense, or IED, that you will want, which is this stat right here, ignore defense. Now obviously that's extremely low, but I am not in bossing Legion. Yeah. Well, anyway. The higher the number, the PDR, the higher the IED you will want. It does have diminishing returns, meaning you can't get a 40% line, a 40% line, and a 20% line to equal 100% ignore defense, or IED. The more you have, the less effective it is. So right now I have a solid, and just to give you a little example, go actually go into my bossing preset, and this is out without familiars. But like you see, I have 44% IED from skills, 65% from items, almost 46% from Legion, 36 from Hyperstat, 10 from traits, 18 from artifact. That is well over 100%. That's, I think, over 200%. But I'm at 95%. And then just to show you a little bit further, here's a 30% IED line and a 40%. Look what it does. I went up 3%. Yeah, 2.9 or 2.88%. Like, the more you have, the less effective it is. But regardless, general consensus, you'd want probably 92%. And I would say 94% around Hard Lotus and up, to be honest. You can probably get away with 92% for most of these orange bosses. I recommend 94, and then probably 97 and higher for like Chaos Gloom and up, to be honest. I feel better with those numbers. Over here we have guides, and then notes about either the guide or the boss itself, or updates. For example, Magnus has been nerfed since this guide has been released, so the mechanics are a little different, but this information remains the same. Now, closing out, we have the Enlomian solo mules. This is the general, I guess, threshold that people leave their mules at, their boss mules. Pretty much all these mules are, they log in, they kill all of these bosses in pink, and log off. They sell the boss crystals, put whatever cubes they got all in the storage, all the messos they got in the storage, and then just never touch that character again until next week. So boss reset. Total messos gain for each and Lomi and Solo Mule is about 1.33 bill. C10 or Tenebris will be a lot more than that. It's going to be a total of 4.59, 4.6 bill. Now, obviously, I didn't just add everything here. I made sure I didn't double down on easy lucid, normal lucid, easy will, normal Lotus, normal Damien, and things like that. Uh, but yeah, that's basically it, man. This will be in the description again. I will update it in real time the second I discover something incorrect, or the second I discover something that needs to be updated, or if more information comes out, or if I'm missing information. Whatever it is, I will add it in real time the second I find out. Um, go ahead and subscribe. I want to put more information out like this. The higher my numbers go, the more drive I'm gonna have, to be honest with you, because I love providing this information. But if I know more people are able to learn from it, progress in the game, and really give this game a chance, the chance that it needs, the better I feel about it, the more I want to do it. Uh, so yeah, share this with anyone that you know that can benefit from it. I'm just glad to be helping anyone enjoy this game that I love.